On the 19th or the 20th of December, depending on which part of the world you're currently living in, we're going to experience the last new moon of 2025, which is new moon in Sagittarius. This new moon is quite strong and intense in terms of its astrological energies and astrological makeup. Why? Because first it's in 28 degrees of Sagittarius. That's almost at anaretic degrees. The second, there's a mutual reception between the ruler of this new moon, which is Jupiter, and Jupiter, the ruler of Jupiter, which is the moon. So this new moon is happening in Jupiter's sign, and the ruler which is Jupiter, is in moon sign, Sagittarius and Cancer. And the ruler of this new moon in Sagittarius is retrograde. Jupiter is currently retrograding. So there's a very strong element of moving towards an ending, 28 degrees, in order for us to start something, new moon, but that process of starting something, of moving towards some endings, will have to be done in a way that is reviewing, retweaking, reconsidering Jupiter retrograde. And maybe there are some circumstances or events from your past or people from your past that could come back because the ruler of this new moon is retrograde. Not only that, this new moon is going to conjunct Mars and Venus. It's also going to heavily squared by Saturn and Neptune. So this is a very strong new moon, an intense new moon, but nonetheless, this is a new moon. We are asked by the universe to start something in our Sagittarius house. So this is my simple take on the effect of this new moon in Sagittarius for all 12 rising signs. For the first rising sign, we will go to Aries rising, the most accurate, followed by Aries sun and Aries moon. For my dear Aries rising friends, this new moon in Sagittarius will happen, of course, in your 9th house. It will conjunct Mars in Capricorn in your 10th house, and Venus also in Sagittarius, Mercury also in Sagittarius in your 9th house. So currently your 9th house is loaded with energies. So this new moon will ask you to start something new in terms of your travel, in terms of your philosophy, optimism, in terms of the law. If you have something to do with the law, this is also a house of publications, higher learnings, universities. This is the house of philosophies. This is basically the house where you take your outlook on life and expand it. This is the house of expansion. So the universe is asking you to start something, but because it's the new moon is happening at 28 degrees of Sagittarius, so there is an element of letting go, and the ruler, which is Jupiter, is currently retrograde in Cancer. So there's also another emphasis on review, on connecting to things that weren't supposed to end in the first place. So you're taking a second look at things. Jupiter is currently in Cancer. For Aries rising is in your 4th house, so it has something to do also with your home. So this new moon is also going to square Saturn, square Neptune. So there's an element of confusion, be careful, and there's also an element of obstacles. In order for you to reap the maximum rewards for this new moon, so you have to consult, you have to deal with the energies of Saturn, limitations, and Neptune, which is the energies of confusion, illusion. So basically you have to get your mind, your intention, your heart, basically, because the ruler is in the sign of Cancer, the sign of the heart. You need to get all of that pure. You need to make it clear so that you can get the benefits of this new moon in your 9th house. For the next rising sign, we will go to Taurus rising, the most accurate, followed by Taurus sun and Taurus moon. For my dear Taurus rising friends, this new moon will happen in the sign of Sagittarius. Sagittarius for Taurus rising is your 8th house. So this is about transformation, something new in terms of transformation, intimacy, the occult, secrets. This is also the house of investments. So maybe you're trying to have a look at new investments, but you have to be careful. This new moon is happening in quite a difficult house, the 8th house, right? And also this new moon, the ruler is also retrograde in Cancer, and the degree of this new moon is at 28 degree, which is almost an erratic degree, almost at 29. And this new moon is also conjunct Mars and Venus and the galactic center. So you have to be very mindful, get your intentions clear, and you also have to remember this new moon is going to be squared by Neptune and Saturn, so confusion, illusion, obstacles. The most important thing is that don't lose faith, because the ruler, even though retrograde, is exalted, Jupiter in Cancer. The most important thing for you, Taurus rising, is to have faith and to make your intentions clear. And because this is happening in your 8th house, you have to cleanse anything negative energies associated with this new moon. For the 3rd rising sign, we will go to Gemini rising, the most accurate, followed by Gemini sun and Gemini moon. For my dear Gemini rising friends, this new moon in Sagittarius will happen in your 7th house. This is about relationship, partnership, whether it's personal or business, marriage, contracts. So this is about your relationship with other people, including your spouse, including whether it's personal or business. So something new is going to start there. But because the energies and aspects made by this new moon is going to be quite challenging, square by Saturn, square by Neptune, right? Conjunct Mars, 28 degrees, and the ruler is in retrograde. So you have to be mindful in terms of your relationship with other people. You want to start a new relationship, but you need to review. You need to pause first and ask yourself, is this the kind of relationship that I want? Because sometimes Sagittarius can be so blunt, you end up hurting not just yourself, but other people. But thankfully, the ruler, even though it's retrograde, is exalted in Cancer. So there is a silver lining. Just make sure, stay away from confusion or things that could make you confuse, that confuse you. And if you face obstacles, remember, it's just temporary. For the next rising sign, we will go to Cancer rising, the most accurate, followed by Cancer sun and Cancer moon. For my dear Cancer rising friends, this new moon in Sagittarius will happen in your 6th house. This is the house of karma cleansing. This is the house of health, work, chores, daily details, pets. This is basically the house where you improve things, improve your life. The details of your life is here. 10th house of career, the details will be in the 6th house. This is also rentals. This is also problems, the house of problems. So this is also a quite challenging house, but new moon is here. It's asking you to start something new, start new rituals, start new cleansing, start new service, start new regimen in terms of maybe your health, your work. But because the new moon is at 28 degrees, the ruler is retrograde, and this new moon is going to be squared by Saturn and Neptune, and also conjunct Mars. So the energy is just, it's not easy. But you have to remember, 6th house is the house of improvement. This is places where the universe is asking you to improve things. You can take advantage of the energy by improving things. Maybe your health. The new moon is asking you to do that. And the ruler is exalted in Cancer. Even though it is retrograde, it is still exalted. So the results could be positive. In fact, it can be positive. In fact, in my opinion, the results could be mostly positive. You just have to be discerning, be mindful, beware of illusions, right? Beware of confusion. Stay away from things that could create that confusion. If you face obstacles, remember, this is just temporary. For the next rising sign, we will go to Leo rising, the most accurate, followed by Leo sun and Leo moon. For my dear Leo rising friends, this new moon in Sagittarius will happen in the 5th house. This is a positive house, a lucky house, a good house in general. This is the house of entrepreneurship, gambling, children, creativity, self-expression. This is the house where you learn to be yourself. You learn to be your authentic self. Authentic expression is in this house. House of hobbies, fun, happiness, joy. Right? The house of romance, love. So the new moon is asking you to start those things. Start opening your heart. Start new hobbies. Start new creativity projects. Start something new with your children. Or maybe you can have children. But you have to remember, this new moon is going to face challenging aspects from Saturn and Neptune, obstacles and illusions, confusions. The ruler is also retrograding, but because the ruler is in Cancer, exalted in you, the final decision is in you. You, yourself, 1st house. Because it is still retrograding, but because the embodiment of the ruler, which is Jupiter, is currently in your 1st house, you have the final say. So just be mindful. Even though this is a very lucky place, the ruler, which is Jupiter, is not in Cancer. Because you're Leo rising, the ruler is in 12th house. So your mental health, you have to pay attention to your mental health. I'm sorry. I thought my mind was confused for a second there. So the ruler of this new moon for Leo rising is in Cancer, your 12th house. So mental health, you have to pay attention to your mental health. Sleep, rest, relaxation. So just be mindful of confusion. Just be mindful of obstacles. It will be temporary. Pay attention to your mental health so you can get the maximum benefit of this new moon in Sagittarius in your 5th house for Leo rising. For the next rising sign, we will go to Virgo rising, the most accurate, followed by Virgo sun and Virgo moon. For my dear Virgo rising friends, this new moon in Sagittarius will happen in your 4th house. This is about family. Family, home, maybe your mother, properties, ancestry, lineage. If you want to start something new in terms of property, do it. If you want to start something new in relation to your relationship with your family, your home, your house, you can do it. But you also have to be very mindful. Be mindful. This new moon is going to be squared by Saturn, obstacles, people, higher authorities. It will also be squared by Neptune, confusion, and the ruler, which is Cancer, the ruler, which is Jupiter, is currently in Cancer, is still retrograding. So review, right? Start something new, but this new moon is also at 28 degrees, almost anoretic. So there's this energies of, I need to let go before I start something new. I need to review before I start something new. Just be mindful, be careful. If you're facing things that can confuse you, stay away, because this new moon is going to be squared by Neptune. It's quite difficult. Neptune is in Pisces. It's in your 7th house. Maybe someone in your relationship confuse you or create confusion for you, or maybe gaslighting you. So just be mindful. For the next rising sign, we will go to Libra rising, the most accurate, followed by Libra sun and Libra moon. For my dear Libra rising friends, this new moon will happen in your 3rd house. This is about communication, skills. This is about self-made wealth, actually. This is also about siblings, travel, but short travel, right? This is basically the house where you show off your skills, communications, your knowledge, right? So this new moon will ask you to start something new there. Maybe starting a new project in terms of your media, communication, starting a new YouTube channel, or start writing something. But because this new moon is at 28 degrees, there's something that you need to let go of. the ruler, which is Jupiter in Cancer, in your 10th house for Libra rising. You need to review also in terms of your connection with your career, because this new moon, the ruler is in your 10th house, career. It could have something to do with your career, and you need to review regarding the energy of this new moon and its connection to your career, 10th house. This new moon is also going to be squared by Neptune and Saturn in your 6th house. So maybe something in your work or your health could delay things, or could delay the manifestation of this new moon. You just have to be mindful. But you don't have to worry. This new moon, the ruler is exalted in Cancer, right? Whatever you need to do, do it with a pure heart. For the next rising sign, we will go to Scorpio rising, the most accurate, followed by Scorpio sun and Scorpio moon. For my dear Scorpio rising friends, this new moon in Sagittarius will happen in your 2nd house. This is about money. This is about money. It's going to be squared by Neptune and Saturn in Pisces. It's going to be squared by something in relation to your 5th house, because for Scorpio rising, Pisces is your 5th house. Maybe your children, maybe your creativity, your hobbies, your self-expression. Something will create disharmony in terms of relationship with this new moon energy, money house. But the ruler is exalted in Cancer, in your 9th house. The ruler is exalted. So prayers, maybe religion could help you. Broader mindset, right? Because the 9th house is mindset. More optimism, open your minds, right? But because it is retrograding, there's a review on that part too. So for Scorpio rising, this new moon is about money, but you also need to be careful, because maybe your 5th house, things regarding your 5th house, romance, children, creativity, could block something in terms of you manifesting money, 2nd house. But the key, you also have to look at the ruler, which is Jupiter in Cancer, in your 9th house. So open your mind, broaden your horizon, travel. For the next rising sign, we will go to Sagittarius rising, the most accurate, followed by Sagittarius sun and Sagittarius moon. For my dear Sagittarius rising friends, this new moon in Sagittarius is happening in your 1st house. You are the star. So whatever you want to do, you can do. But you also have to be mindful, the ruler, which is your chart ruler, Jupiter, is still in retrograde. But don't worry, it's in its good state, exalted in Cancer in your 8th house. So this new moon has something to do with transformation, because the ruler Jupiter retrograde in the 8th house, house of transformation. This new moon is also going to be squared by Saturn Neptune in Pisces. For Sagittarius, Pisces is your 4th house. Maybe something in your family, in your home, properties maybe, that could not derail but create confusion and create obstacles towards whatever you want to achieve or you want to manifest because of this new moon. But because the ruler for you, Sagittarius rising, is in the 8th house, transformation is the key. Just be mindful. You don't have to be afraid of transformation, because Jupiter is there exalted. But it's just because this is new moon in the 1st house, the final decision is up to you. For the next rising sign, we will go to Capricorn rising, the most accurate, followed by Capricorn sun and Capricorn moon. For my dear Capricorn rising friend, this new moon is happening in your 12th house, about mental health, rest and relaxation, spirituality. You're basically asked by the universe, do you have time to retreat? This is what the universe is asking you. Capricorn can be very ambitious, can be very professional, to the point that you don't realize that you need rest. This new moon is asking you to rest. Yes, it's going to be squared by Pisces. Saturn Neptune is there in the 3rd house, mental. This 3rd house is the house of mental stimulant, right? This is also the house of communication. So you have to be careful regarding your stimulation towards your mind, because you are asked by the universe with this new moon in the 12th house for Capricorn rising, you are asked to rest, to pay attention to your mental health. The ruler, which is Jupiter, is currently in Cancer in your 7th house. Exalted. Maybe your spouse could help you, your partner could help you. They could help you to rest, relax, and help you to just let go, connect to the spiritual world, or just simply pay attention. Maybe your partner could help you in your mental health. For the next rising sign, we will go to Aquarius rising, the most accurate, followed by Aquarius sun and Aquarius moon. For my dear Aquarius rising friends, this new moon in Sagittarius will happen in your 11th house. This is the house of gains from career. This is the house of friendship. This is the house of social media, networking. This is the house of hopes and dreams and your long-term goals. This new moon is asking you to take a look at that and start something new in order for you to build on those things. But because it's at 28 degrees, near anaretic degrees, conjunct the galactic center, will be squared by Saturn and Neptune. And the ruler is, even though exalted, is retrograde. There is a review and also an ending that needs to happen before you can start something new in terms of maybe social media projects, new friendship, new networks, maybe new hopes and dreams, new long-term goals, or maybe you already have your long-term goals fixed, but you need to tweak it. This new moon is a perfect opportunity, but you need to review and you need to let go of things that no longer serves you. For the last rising sign, we will go to Pisces rising, the most accurate, followed by Pisces sun and Pisces moon. For my dear Pisces rising friends, this new moon in Sagittarius will happen in your 10th house. This is about something new relative to your career, your public image. Maybe you will start something new in terms of your new position in your career, or start some brand new career altogether. But you have to remember, there's going to be a square or disharmony or challenges from Saturn and Neptune in your 1st house. You are the obstacles. You could be the obstacles. So you need to integrate your 1st house, you, with your goals, 10th house, with this new moon. You also have to remember, because you're Pisces rising and this new moon is also in Sagittarius, both signs are ruled by Jupiter. Jupiter currently in Cancer in your 5th house. So it has something to do, yes, it is retrograde, but there's some revisions, or something that you need to take a look again in terms of your creativity, self-expression, children, hobbies, things that make you happy, fun, romance. There's something regarding those things that you need to take a look again, review, so you can find solutions in order for you to integrate the 1st house and the 10th house where this new moon is located.